I'm going to present a satire today, and I'm sure everyone understands satire. Satire is wit, irony, or sarcasm used to expose and discredit vice or foolishness. If I tell you Captain Odegbami is here, I don't know whether to call him captain or chief. But since I'm a footballer, he's captain. If you believe that I'm a footballer, you believe anything. Now, if I say, for example, that a general in this country is so good at football, that's better than Odegbami, Ronaldo, and Messi, and was so good, he dribbled the spectators, dribbled the referee, dribbled his teammates, and even himself, and scored an own goal. You know what a satire is, isn't it? Okay, so I'm safe to start with a satire. Okay. Now, in my younger days, I traveled a lot. I traveled the world to take photographs all around the world to raise money for the exhibition, for an exhibition which I held every year, to raise money for the 9 orphanages we supported. And one of the most interesting places I traveled to is Bilbao. Okay. Now, there's not much about Bilbao. You can walk up the entire length of Bilbao in 20-25 minutes. I remember when I was in the hotel and I asked for a taxi to go to the museum. They just laughed at me and said, please walk there. It took me only 15 minutes. But Bilbao has an asset, and that's the Guggenheim Museum. It's an incredible piece of architecture. It was designed by Frank Gehry, an American architect. It's what we call a deconstructivist. And if you've never been to Bilbao in Spain, I encourage you to go there. It's incredible. It will inspire you. But by far the most interesting place I've ever been to is a country called Garinja. They say that's a flip in the name. It should have been named Ijagari. But Garinja sounds better. Ijagari is a reference to class warfare over economic resources. For those who don't know, Gari is a granulated cassava staple with an underappreciated capacity to bloat the stomach. Garinja politicians like to serve it during elections because it creates the impression that people are well-fed, even if they are suffering from kwashiorkor. They used to call it palliative, but now it's been reclassified as stomach infrastructure. But the elites don't take gari, they take rice, jollof rice. You'll see the relevance of that later, but suffice today that the poor can't afford rice. Now, the ideology of the Republic of Garinja has it's interesting. It's fully homegrown. Some people have communist ideology, some people have socialist ideology, some people have capitalist ideology, but the ideology is what defines the economy that you have. If it's a capitalist economy, you're encouraging private ownership of capital and assets. If it's communist, then the government owns everything. If it's socialist, you can't make up your mind whether the government owns or whether the individual owns. But Garinja doesn't run any of those ideologies. The ideology came from, it's a concept wholly derived from the social and economic model of Moluwe bus. These buses used to be ply Lagos, but they've been banned. They are weapons of mass destruction. Now, Moluwe stands on 2 pillars. Anything goes and all things are possible. These tenets have transformative powers. It even produced a man who can stop an aeroplane on a tarmac. They have produced incredible election results. The number of votes cast always outstripped the number of votes registered voters. At the polling booth, it can go be 550 votes, but by the time it turns to the headquarters, it's 5,000 votes. That's a miraculous transformation. Now, Garinja is a materialistic, power-oriented society. Who you know matters more than what you know. You can even buy justice. You can lock up anybody. You can report a case to the police, but end up being locked, the one locked up. Remember, ideologically, all things are possible. The population is divided into 3 bands. Band A, Band B, Band C. Your band determines your rights, including the right to complain and the quality and quantity of electricity supply you get. If you are Band A, your sash color is sunshine yellow. Your own done better. You get to exercise the right to pay extra for what you're entitled to. Members of this band complain to themselves at country clubs. Electricity bills are calculated by a unique calculator. It has only keys for addition and multiplication. If you are band B, your own color is green. That's because for you, it will always be greener on the other side. You can complain on radio and social media. But if you are band C, you can only complain to God. Now, the tour company that I booked offered a tour of the 5 wonders of Garinja. They are located in the capital city of Kuyemi. I can't comprehend. It's called Kuyemi because a humongous amount was spent to build it, yet it does not have one singular global architectural icon. The stadium was said to have cost as much as the tallest building in the world, the Burj Khalifa. These are the 5 wonders. Wonder number 1, intelligent fire. They demonstrated how this works when we visited. The fire entered the building, climbed the stairs to the 15th floor, walked down a corridor, ignored several offices, and burnt only the accounts department of the parastatal. Prophet Elijah is known for calling fire from heaven, but his skill is no match for intelligent fire. The second wonder is the miraculous estate. 753 duplexes miraculously built themselves in the capital city. No one has shown any means of ownership. The third wonder is miraculous transmutation. The money stolen from a government parastatal simply turned into a goat. The goat is still at the police station. The fourth wonder is the national airline. It was launched with great fanfare in a foreign land with borrowed plane. A lot of money was spent on branding the project, but the plane was painted Garinja liveries. It has since disappeared, flew out by itself. There's a space of the plane exhibit at the National Museum. The exhibit simply says, abracadabra. The more you look, the less you see. The note encourages you to use your imagination to see the plane. The fifth wonder is the National Assembly building. The architecture is incredible. It has a huge glass dome. There are no windows whatsoever, so the legislators can't see outside or hear what's going on in the streets. It is a perfect echo chamber, the architect boasted. The assembly members can only look up to the heavens through the glass dome. This explains why they tell Garinjaites to look up to God the way they look up to God and thank Him for His abundance. But how do they breathe in these windows? Oxygen is often pumped into the dome. However, at high levels, it has a side effect. It affects memory. That's why many legislators forget where they came from. Incidentally, when I asked how much the legislators earned, nobody seemed to know. Not even the accountant of the National Assembly. But I was told that the National Assembly has robust debates and has introduced key legislation. So robust are the debates that the senator once brought 2 of his wives to the floor of the chambers to reinforce a point he was making. They were his PowerPoint presentation. The most notable bill passed by the National Assembly is the National Amity Transcendent Adulation Symbiotic Strategy Accreditation Bill. It goes by the acronym NATASHA. Now, it's been hailed as the mother of all legislation. I Googled Natasha to learn more about the bill, but the Google kept up bringing out the face of a woman. Now, the other bill the National Assembly is considering is a bill sponsored by the youths to change the national anthem yet again. They want something that reflects the values of the Garinja as exemplified by our legislators. It's rather revolutionary and contemporary, though I must say the first 2 lines appear to be creative popularization. Look at the wording. Does anybody know how to sing this song? You don't know how to sing? Okay, let's practice. No, wait. Let's practice properly. From here to there is C. This middle is B. And from there to there is A. So you take turns singing, so the A people will sing the first line, the B people will sing the second and third line, and the D people will sing the fourth line. So let's start. You guys sing well now. Are you hungry? Dòdò àti ráìsì kò gbọ́dọ̀ kọjá, wọ́n á jẹ, wọ́n á kò gbogbo. Dòdò àti ráìsì kò gbọ́dọ̀ kọjá, wọ́n á jẹun, wọ́n á kò gbogbo. Congrats. Now, I spent some time thinking about the fundamental challenges of Garinja. Why is there an unreasonable number of poor people despite the abundance of Gari? Why is the democracy not deep? Now, there are few things that Garinja needs to pay attention to. The first is the rule of law. It has limited jurisdiction. It's only applicable to the masses. There's no justice in the land. Rule of law must replace law of rule. The country must be strong on policing, especially crimes that batter the image of the nation and deprive the masses of welfare. Needless to say, there's a need for police reform. I'm not talking about changing of police uniform. There's a need for a strategic revamp of the image of the country. A passport ought to enhance the citizens, not subtract from them on international borders. The Garinja passport subtracts. Number 3, in the field of education, we no longer teach children values. When a society is power and money-oriented, but lacking in moral values, and immorality pestilence will arise. That disaster will erode trust in that society, affect commerce and the cost of capital. You can't build a nation without values. It is a contradiction in terms. There's a need to revamp the educational curriculum in schools in response to present challenges. Linkages between the universities and the venture capital industry must be fostered. There's a need to create a platform on the stock exchange for young tech companies so investors can cash out. It will incentivize venture capitalists. Colleges of technology must be colleges of technology. MIT is a college of technology. Why is it incomparable to Yaba College of Technology? What are they doing that Garinja is not doing? Enterprise development is critical. It should be two-tiered. Tier 1 is for basic training of entrepreneurs. Tier 2 is for those who can focus on businesses that will create jobs and employ at least 20 people. 1 million of those will create 20 million jobs. Government must not only have the capacity to hire all the people. Government doesn't have the capacity to hire all the people in the job market. Only the private sector can signally reduce that number. There is democracy but no representative governance. Political office holders must be answerable to the people, not the other way around. In order to correct this anomaly, there must be electoral reform. There's a need to eliminate waste. Spending an inordinate amount of money, of money at the polling booth must be discouraged. It's a poor productivity. Why can't people vote by phone? As at May 2025, the tele density of Garinja is 79.65%. That's almost 80%. The people pretty much do everything with phone. They send money to the village by phone, book appointments by phone, do remote meetings by phone, buy concert tickets by phone, choose menu by restaurant by phone, set up shops and business by phone, publish books by phone, read religious texts by phone, attend church on phone by phone, do medical diagnosis by phone. They connect and date each other by phone. They pay taxes by phone. They even pay God by phone. If we truly want representative democracy, it is the way to go. Instead of spending 8 or 9 hours to vote, it can be done in 3 minutes. In the present system, you have to carry your bed and pillow to the polling booth. Voting by phone is a much cheaper system. No printing of ballot paper, no logistics, no deployment of hundreds of thousands of electoral officers, just technology. We can even see the result in real time, same way we see the number of likes or posts on X or Facebook. How about rural areas? We can start with the cities. Not that the rural areas don't know how to use phones anyway. They do. They collect money by phone. For effective coverage, you can approach Starlink or for special class-like coverage for the rural areas. Most facilitated the communication at the start of the Ukraine-Russia war. It just moved a few satellites. What if the system is hacked? That's a data security issue. There are technological solutions to solve it. And anyway, the current system is being hacked too. It's hijacked by hoodlums. Ballot boxes are destroyed or stuffed in and ballot papers are burnt. There's a constant threat of violence. Why not give the people the option of voting from the safety of their homes? Technology makes the tracing, the rigging easier, and breaches can be alarmed. We do a test run first, and then localize it. For security measures must be embedded in mobile voting. It must be end-to-end verification. Voters must be able to verify that their ballots have been accurately cast and then counted. Number 2, there must be multi-factor and biometric authentication. Number 3, the system must be transparent and auditable. It must be open source to secure experts and to security experts and election officials. And even citizens can verify the software is secure. Number 4, the votes must be air-gapped, that is taken offline as election officials by election officials so that they cannot be compromised on the internet while still being counted. Encryption technology must be deployed. The digital ballot must be printed and counted like other ballots. Now, my son is a design engineer, and I troubled him for this lecture. I said, can you simulate voting by phone for me? Just give me a rough draft of how long it will take to vote by phone. Now, for this, you have to, I want to use your imagination. Let's imagine that there are 4 gubernatorial candidates in the election. Madam Sisi Oge Hamdallah Tolowo Kere of Tiwantiwa Gogbero Party, TGP. The motto is togetherness is the key to the kingdom. Everyone is welcome. The second candidate is Mazi Chukwemeka, very ambitious status. He's from the Labour Party. We are their neighbors. Even if you don't show up for 4 years, we are with you in spirit. That's their motto. Malankunu Gidado, Intercontinental Development Party, IDP. Garinja will be like Dubai in 3 months by the grace of God. Then John Dele Baptist, otherwise known as John the Baptist. He belongs to You Chop I Chop Party, UCICP. And this is their motto. We're not greedy. We believe in tongue by tongue. We even serve puff. Now, this is what my son came up with. Can we play a short video?
Demonstration of how citizens of Garinja can vote for their preferred candidates. When the user lands on the home page, they can choose between English, Yoruba, Hausa, or Igbo. If the user chooses Yoruba, they are taken to a page where they can see the text has been translated to Yoruba. If the user goes back and chooses Hausa, they will also see that the text has been translated to Hausa. For the purposes of this demonstration, we are going to use English. On the onboarding page, we see that this platform is a secure and transparent voting platform for the people of Garinja. It enables simple voting, and by the end of it, the user will get verified results based on the votes that have been given so far. We shall continue for the demonstration. The next page shows where the user enters their PVC and their phone number. For the purposes of this demonstration, we are going to enter a fake PVC number and a fake phone number. And we will continue. The PVC number and the phone number will be verified, and a text message will be sent to the phone number so that the user can enter to verify that it's correct. For the purposes of this demo, we shall enter 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and verify. Once the code has been verified, a simple message to show how the vote is recorded and secured is shown to the user. It shows what is done with the phone number, it shows that the vote is kept anonymous, and it shows that it's 1 vote per person. We shall continue to the ballot. On the ballot, the user sees the candidates that they can vote for. We have John the Baptist for UCICP, Madam Sisioge for TGP. We have Malam Kunu for IDP and Mazi Chukwuemeka for NP. For the purposes of this demo, I will be choosing Madam Sisioge. And I will cast my vote. Once I've casted my vote, I will see that it has been successfully done, and then I'm told what would happen next. In the similar vein, I can also see the live results. And as we can see, Madam Sisioge is currently in the lead with 365 votes, and John the Baptist is currently last with 156 votes.
Well, that shows you how simple it can be. Now, if we want the youth to take power, you got to give them technology. And some people will tell you it's not possible. It is possible. The question we have to ask ourselves is, what will Dubai do? And what will China do? I want to thank you for listening. I will be greeting Jadigia with my ideas. I'll give you an update when I come back. Thank you. God bless our country.